You're 35,000 feet in the air. Instruments are fine. Weather's clear. Then you see it. A figure, standing in the cockpit. Impossible. But 13 pilots reported the exact same thing before disaster struck. Same description, same location, same outcome. Today we're counting down 13 commercial pilots who encountered something unexplainable moments before everything went wrong. Real flight records, real testimonies, real mysteries. And number one, the recordings were sealed for decades. I'm your host at Ominus, where the skies aren't as empty as you think. Let's begin. Number 13. The Shadow in the Doorway. March 2019. Regional flight over Montana. Captain Hayes is flying routine. Co-pilots grabbing coffee. Everything smooth. Then Hayes glances at the cockpit door. Someone standing there. Dark figure, tall, motionless. He blinks. Still there. He calls out. No response. Reaches for the intercom to ask if crew entered. The figure vanishes. Just gone. Hayes reports it immediately. Ground control logs it as fatigue. But 20 minutes later, hydraulic failure. Emergency landing in a cornfield. All passengers survive, but the plane's totaled. During investigation, Hayes insists he saw someone. Maintenance crews find no mechanical explanation for the failure. The report labels it unexplained systems failure. Hayes retires 6 months later, says he still sees that figure when he closes his eyes. Number 12. The Man in the Gray Suit. November 2018. Transatlantic flight. First Officer Chen is mid-shift when she notices him. Passenger in a gray suit, standing in the aisle behind the cockpit. She turns to look properly. He's staring directly at her, expressionless. She asks over the intercom if someone needs assistance. Flight attendant responds confused. Everyone's seated. Seatbelt sign is on. Chen looks back. The man's gone. She checks the security camera feed. No one in that aisle, ever, she tells the captain. He laughs it off. Stress. Long hours. But 3 hours later, engine 2 shows critical temperature spikes. They divert to Iceland. Emergency services meet them on the runway. Investigators find a manufacturing defect that should have been caught in inspection. Chen describes the man in her official report. Gray suit, pale skin, empty eyes. The detail that haunts her? He was smiling. Number 11. The Voice That Warned. August 2017. Cargo flight over the Pacific. Captain Okonkwo is alone in the cockpit. Co-pilots on break. Radio's quiet. Then he hears it. A voice, clear. Right behind him. Check your altitude. He spins around. Nobody there. Cargo holds don't have passenger access. Impossible for anyone to be behind him. But the voice was so real he checks his instruments anyway. Altitude's fine. He's annoyed. Tired brain playing tricks. 5 minutes later, his altimeter starts giving false readings, showing him 5,000 feet higher than actual position. If he'd trusted it, he would have descended directly into the ocean. He catches it only because he double-checked after hearing that voice. Emergency landing in Hawaii. Investigation finds a rare electrical fault. Okonkwo submits his report including the voice. Officials dismiss it. He doesn't, because that voice saved his life. If you're already hooked, hit subscribe, because these stories get darker. Number 10. The Child in Seat 13A. February 2016. Red-eye flight from Seattle to Boston. Captain Morris does his pre-flight walkthrough. Cabin's empty. Cleaning crew just left. He's heading back to the cockpit when he sees her. Little girl, maybe 7 years old, sitting in seat 13A, staring straight ahead. He stops. Sweetie, how'd you get on the plane? She doesn't respond, doesn't even blink. He walks toward her. She turns her head slowly, looks directly at him, then vanishes. Just gone. Morris freezes, calls security. They search the entire aircraft. Nothing. Cameras show Morris walking down the aisle alone, talking to an empty seat. Flight proceeds normally until descent. Landing gear malfunctions. They barely get it down manually. Full investigation reveals a hydraulic line that was damaged during maintenance. Morris includes the girl in his report. They suggest counseling. He refuses to fly that route again. And seat 13A? Passengers still report feeling watched when they sit there. Number 9. The Figure on the Wing. June 2015. Afternoon flight over Texas. First Officer Lang is doing routine checks when something catches his eye. Figure. Standing on the wing. Impossible. They're cruising at 38,000 feet. He stares. It's humanoid. Dark. Facing the cockpit. He grabs the captain's arm, points. Do you see that? The captain looks, sees nothing. Lang looks again, still there. He takes a photo with his phone. Image shows nothing but wing and sky. The figure remains visible to him for another 30 seconds. Then it simply steps backward. Off the wing, into nothing. Lang's shaking. Captain grounds him temporarily. Psych evaluation. Lang passes, clears all tests. 2 weeks later, that same aircraft experiences explosive decompression. Different crew. Panel failure. Emergency descent. 7 injuries. Investigators find the panel had microfractures exactly where Lang saw the figure standing. His photo's in the official file, just a wing, but Lang knows what he saw. Number 8. The Passenger Who Wasn't There. December 2014. International flight from London to Dubai. Captain Foster is mid-flight when the intercom buzzes. Flight attendant sounds nervous. Sir, we have a passenger acting strangely. Won't respond. Just standing in the galley. Foster asks her to handle it per protocol. She tries. 5 minutes later, she calls back, panicked now. Captain, he's not on the manifest. He's not on any security footage, but he's standing right here. Foster leaves the cockpit to look. Gets to the galley. No one there. 3 flight attendants swear they all saw him. Tall, dark coat, standing perfectly still. All 3 saw the same person, but cabin cameras show an empty galley. Flight continues. An hour later, engine failure. Fragments found in the turbine. Bird strike, except they're at cruising altitude over the desert. No birds. The plane lands safely, but the mystery remains. 4 crew members saw someone who didn't exist, and the engine failed exactly when he disappeared. Number 7. The knock on the cockpit door. October 2013, night flight over the Atlantic. Co-pilot Jensen hears it. 3 knocks, solid, deliberate, on the cockpit door. Captain's dozing. Jensen checks the security screen. No one at the door. Must have been turbulence. Then 3 more knocks, louder. He checks again. Still no one. He wakes the captain. They both stare at the door. 3 more knocks. They hear it clearly. Captain radios the crew. Is someone knocking on the cockpit door? Confused responses. No one's near the door. They unlock it, open it. Empty corridor. But they both heard it. 6 witnesses. Nobody there. An hour later, fire warning in the cargo hold. Emergency descent. Firefighters board on landing. No fire, but the smoke detector was melted. Faulty wiring. Could have been catastrophic. The knockings never explained. Jensen says it sounded urgent, like someone trying to warn them. Halfway through, drop a comment. Which stories got you questioning reality? And hit that like button. Number 6. The reflection in the window. March 2012. Dawn flight over the Rockies. First Officer Park is watching the sunrise when she notices something in her window reflection. A face behind her. She can see it clearly in the glass, pale, watching her. She spins around, no one there. Looks back at the window. The face is still in the reflection, still watching. Not her own reflection, someone else's. She stares at it. It stares back. Then it mouths something. She can't hear it, but she can read the lips. Descend. She looks away, looks back. It's gone. She tells the captain. He's skeptical, but then the pressurization system fails. Gradual loss, silent, deadly. They catch it only because Park's watching instruments obsessively after what she saw. Emergency oxygen, rapid descent. Everyone survives. Investigation finds a seal failure that gave no warning. Park includes the reflection in her report. They call it stress-induced hallucination, but that face mouthed descend 5 minutes before they needed to. Number 5. The empty seat that wasn't empty. July 2011. Full flight from Chicago to Miami. Captain Rhodes does his final walkthrough before takeoff. Counts passengers. Manifest says 1 to 78. He counts 179. He recounts. Still 1 to 79. He checks the list. Everyone's accounted for, but there's one extra person. Older man. Seat 7B, staring forward. Rhodes approaches. Sir, can I see your boarding pass? The man doesn't move, doesn't acknowledge him. Rhodes reaches out to tap his shoulder. His hand passes through, like touching cold air. Rhodes stumbles back, looks again. The seat's empty. Flight attendants confirm. 178 passengers. Seat 7B is vacant. Rhodes is rattled, but flight proceeds. 30 minutes in, structural issue discovered in the tail section. Warning light. They return to Chicago. Engineers find a crack in the stabilizer. Catastrophic failure was imminent. Rhodes reports the passenger. Officials find something chilling. Seat 7B was occupied by a man who died on that same route 5 years earlier. Heart attack. Never made it to Miami. Number 4. The SOS in the static. January 2010. Routine cargo flight over Canada. Captain Yu is monitoring radio frequencies when he hears it. Through the static. Morse code. SOS. He alerts his co-pilot. They both listen. Clear. Deliberate. SOS repeated 3 times. Then silence. They try to respond. No answer. Ground control confirms no distress signals in the area. But Yu records it. The pattern's perfect. Too precise to be interference. They continue flight. 20 minutes later, total electrical failure. Backup systems kick in, but they're flying dark. Manual controls only. They land using visual reference and experience. Investigation finds a voltage regulator that failed without warning. The recording of the SOS is analyzed. Officials can't explain it. No source, no nearby aircraft. Just a warning in Morse code that came from nowhere. Yu keeps the recording, plays it sometimes, wonders who sent it. Number 3. The co-pilot who wasn't scheduled. September 2009, Captain Williams boards for a morning flight. Sees his co-pilot already in the right seat. Running pre-flight checks. Williams is confused. He's pretty sure he's flying with Davis today. This guy's unfamiliar. Hey, I think there's been a scheduling mix-up. The co-pilot turns, smiles. No mix-up. I'm exactly where I need to be. Williams checks the schedule on his tablet. Davis is listed. He looks up. The seat's empty. Davis walks in behind him. Morning, Captain. Ready to fly? Williams stares at the empty seat. He just saw someone. Davis didn't pass anyone in the corridor. Williams is shaken, but they proceed. Mid-flight, catastrophic systems failure. Multiple alerts. They're trained for this, but it's overwhelming. Then Williams hears that voice again. Calm, clear. Throttle back, disengage autopilot, manual trim. He does it, instinctively. The plane stabilizes. They land safely. Investigation finds a software glitch that caused cascading failures. Davis swears Williams was giving himself instructions out loud during the crisis. But Williams heard someone else, the co-pilot who wasn't there, guiding him through. Number 2. The Warning. Written in frost, November 2008. Cold morning flight from Minneapolis. Captain Lawson's doing external inspection. Notices frost on the cockpit window, normal for the temperature, but then he sees it. Words, written in the frost from the inside. Don't fly, clear letters. He opens the cockpit door, empty. Heater's been running. There shouldn't be frost inside. He wipes it away, tells ground crew. They check everything. Aircraft's cleared. Lawson's uneasy, but he's got a schedule. Passengers are boarding. He flies. 2 hours in, engine fire, real one. They dump fuel, emergency landing, evacuate via slides. Everyone survives, but the plane's destroyed. Fire investigation finds faulty wiring that inspection missed. Lawson's asked about his pre-flight report. He mentions the frost, the words. They think he's covering for missing something, but maintenance crews back him up. The cockpit was locked overnight. No one had access. And there's no explanation for how frost formed inside a heated cabin, or who wrote that warning. Number 1. The Black Box that recorded a voice. April 2007, transatlantic flight from New York to Paris. Routine, uneventful, until it wasn't. Catastrophic failure at cruising altitude. The plane goes down, no survivors. Recovery teams retrieve the black box. Investigators listen to the cockpit voice recorder. Final minutes are chaotic. Alarms, crew working desperately. Then, 10 seconds before impact, a third voice. Not the captain, not the first officer. Someone else. Male. Calm. You're not alone. The recording ends. Investigators play it dozens of times. 3 voices, only 2 pilots. Passenger cabin audio doesn't match. No one else was in the cockpit. Security protocols ensure that. Voice analysis confirms it's not anyone on the manifest. Not crew, not passengers. The recording's sealed. Classified. Families never hear it. But here's what haunts investigators. 6 other crashes over the previous decade. Same mysterious third voice. Same phrase. You're not alone. Different flights, different aircraft, different locations. But in those final seconds, someone or something speaks. Always the same words. The voice has never been identified, and it only appears when there's no chance of survival. Like something's watching, waiting, bearing witness to the end. So there you have it. 13 pilots who encountered something impossible before disaster struck. Which story messed with your head the most? Drop your thoughts below. If stories like this get your blood pumping, subscribe to Ominus. We drop new videos every 3 days, dark mysteries, unbelievable encounters, stories that'll make you question everything. Next time, we're diving into 13 hospitals that had to close room. 13 forever, doors sealed, security posted. These rooms witness things so disturbing that hospitals would rather lose the space than use them again. It's dropping soon. Stay curious. And maybe next time you fly, take a good look around the cabin. Because according to these pilots, you might not be the only one on board. I'm out.